McBride was an all-star for the 5th time in her career as Boston goes backdoor to Hull, working on Williams. Hull gets it to go, and a foul.
Career high for you tonight. How'd that first half feel, especially with 18 and just 20 minutes of play?
I mean, it obviously feels good, I think. For me, just playing with confidence. We're missing people, so everyone's got to do a little bit extra, be a little bit more aggressive offensively. So that was my mindset going in, and obviously it feels good to see the ball go through the net.
Lexi Hull went off. The Fever had that momentum, and then poof, it all crashed. Not only did Indiana give up a huge third quarter run, but they also lost Chloe Bibby and Odyssey Sims. Look, that's 6 rotation players gone now. 6! That's brutal when you're fighting for playoffs. You saw the resilience, for sure. But man, the frustration just overshadowed everything. Coach White praised Lexi for being aggressive. Lexi herself talked about stepping up, but real talk, everyone's asking, what happened with those coaching decisions? Another halftime lead just vanished, so what did Lexi say that got everyone so fired up? Comment Lexi show if you're with her in the Fever. Let's
Second all-star appearance was right here in Indianapolis back in July. Oh, looking inside for Boston. She will launch and knock down a 3. Lexi Hull's hit a pair. End of that game, but foul line continues to flummox Smith here this year. Here's Hull backdoor, puts on the brakes and lay it in. It's a Lexi Hull show here.
Lexi Hull's breakout? That was the unexpected heartbeat of this whole game. Seriously, Indiana's roster was stripped bare, and she just delivered the best performance of her young career. Dropped 23 points, 9 of 16 from the field, 4 of 7 from 3, played nearly 37 minutes too. And against Minnesota, a team loaded with depth and experience, Lexi just looked completely unfazed. She stepped up, man, with confidence, with purpose.
Lexi, did you come into tonight kind of expecting to play darn near the whole game just with the injury situation and then the personnel available?
Damn, you played 37 minutes.
I mean, you played a lot too, Kels. When did you play? 35. I mean, yeah, we're down people, so gotta suck it up, play a little tired a few minutes, and take in those timeouts as best we can. But yeah, I mean, we're down people, so everyone's got to do a little more.
Yeah. For you offensively, was the plan to kind of try and get some looks inside early to get yourself going and then start working from the outside, or was that just kind of how the game set itself up?
Just to read the defense, I think I got some really good passes on the back cuts, and that's a testament to my teammates, finding me, but keep moving, just reading whatever they're given.
From the jump, she played like she knew she was more than a role player. Her first few threes barely touched the net, just swished. Plus, she was getting easy looks with these sharp backdoor cuts. Caught Minnesota sleeping. She had 18 points by halftime, like she was carrying the offense, setting the tone for Indiana. And this wasn't garbage time scoring either. These were big buckets when the game was right there for the taking.
In Chloe Bibby's absence, you'll likely see a lot of Turner on the floor here today as Lexi Hull launches and hits. It's a 3-point parade going in. Here is Hull. Look how aggressive Lexi Hull has been here in the first half. That was her 8th shot. Lexi Hull with all the confidence in the world. Petty, wide open. Oh, yes.
What really stood out, not just the points, but how she got them. Lexi wasn't one-dimensional at all. She was sprinting through lanes, crashing the glass hard, forcing defenders to chase her everywhere. Indiana leaned on her heavy man, and she totally handled it. This wasn't just luck or some random shooting night. Nah, her energy, her assertiveness, it gave the Fever this huge emotional lift. They desperately needed it too.
16 in the first half for McBride. Hull catch and shoot, knocks down another. 18 for Hull. That is a new
Afterward, Lexi explained it. She was just trying to read the defense, make the right play. She knew the injuries meant she had to carry more. Coach White saw it too, praised her for being aggressive. Said it was the first time this season Lexi was really hunting her shots. That shift in mindset, man. That made all the difference. Lexi Hull wasn't waiting for the game anymore. She was actively taking it.
Lexi Hull tonight, career high for her, just especially effective there early on. What were you seeing from her performance?
She was aggressive. I mean, she was hunting shots. She was aggressive to the rim. She knew we needed another scorer on the floor, and because of the attention that Kelsey and AB get, she was getting free and she was hunting shots, and that's what we're going to need from her.
Listen, for a stretch in that first half, the Fever felt alive in a way they haven't felt in weeks. Lexie was drilling jumpers. Kelsey Mitchell was out there creating offense like crazy. And the bench, they were erupting after every single make, like they were on the verge of something special. Fans watching, you could totally sense it. That confidence Lexie played with was contagious. It sparked this belief that maybe, just maybe, this team still had a punch to throw.
Turner with the offensive rebound. Hole is wide open and knocks down.
But that spark, it just wasn't enough to cover the cracks. Look, as great as Lexie's night was, one player can't patch all those holes, not with a roster this gutted by injuries. Indiana needed a hero, and she gave them that, but the weight of everything else caught up fast. That second half promise, it ran right into the Fever's biggest problem this season. Lexie's big night stood out because this roster is so thin. The injuries have just come in waves, man. Barely holding a rotation together. Caitlin Clark out since July 15th with a groin. Sophie Cunningham, torn MCL. Sydney Colson, ACL tear. Erie McDonald, foot injury. That's 4 gone before tip-off. Then in one night, it got worse. Chloe Bibby, knee soreness in warm-ups. Held out. Odyssey Sims, left in the 4th. Now she's waiting for evaluation. Just brutal.
Just obviously Chloe Bibby, a late addition to the injury report. Just when did that injury happen, or do you know the severity at this point?
Felt something during pregame, and so holding her out as a precaution. We don't know anything, so hopefully we'll get some more information tomorrow when she can be seen.
Had she been dealing with any soreness or anything like that in previous days, the week leading up to tonight?
Yeah, I think everybody's dealing with soreness at this point in the year. But yeah, I had been dealing with a little bit of knee soreness, and again, just want to make sure that we're cautious and figure out what's going on before she gets out there.
That whole sequence, it left Lexie as the only regular wing left standing. Forced the Fever to cobble together lineups on the fly. Bibby's absence meant losing one of the few forwards for balance. Sims going out took away their only veteran point guard, so Indiana had to give heavy minutes to these young guards. Hardship signees. Bruh, when Sims called for that late sub, Shea Petty had to come in and basically run the offense. And she just joined on a 7-day contract. Bibby herself was only signed this month. Man, that just tells you how thin this bench is right now.
What do you know about Odyssey after, I think she left the game and didn't return? Is she injured? What's up with that?
Yeah, no, we don't know anything yet. She's going to get evaluated tomorrow, so we'll see.
With regards to Odyssey, do you have any ideas of what it was she tweaked? Was it a groin or anything?
I have no idea. I just heard her say I need a sub, and so I got Shea up there.
The ripple effects were so obvious, man. Lexie played extended minutes as the lone wing option. Brianna Turner and Michaela Timpson. They were thrown into these tough matchups, way outside their usual roles. Possessions got super shaky. The guards on the floor just didn't have the comfort or the familiarity to run sets cleanly. By the third quarter, that fatigue showed. Simple ball movement just broke down. Aaliyah Boston was fighting so hard for position inside, but passes arrived late, wrong angle, or not at all. Coach White even admitted they're trying to integrate 2 new point guards mid-season. That disconnection was clear as day. Plays that used to flow with Clark, now ending in rushed jumpers or unforced turnovers. Brutal.
Don't think you want to play Lexie 40 minutes. How can you handle the wing without Chloe tonight?
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna have to do it by committee. Bree Turner can guard 5 positions, so she'll be out there defensively. We've got to try to manipulate lineups a little bit more to figure out who we can stretch the floor with. So we're probably on the floor at the same time as Dee in a lot of things that we do. But again, if it's not going to be space in the floor in the half court, we've got to be able to get our defense to create some offensive transition opportunities. That doesn't always have to be steals for scores, but we've got to get missed shots that allow us to get out, run out, and try to create some things in transition.
And that toll, it stretched to the defensive side too. All those extended shifts, weird lineups, legs just got heavy, players rotated late. Minnesota punished every single breakdown, man. The vibe around this team right now feels fragile. Fans and players both know every new injury is another blow to any realistic playoff push. Still, this group is trying to rally in small ways. Those MVP Kelsey shirts they wore pre-game, that was a spark of pride, a sign they haven't stopped fighting. But pride alone doesn't replace the bodies they're missing. So that burden shifted right onto the remaining core, veterans and newcomers alike, just scrambling to plug all those holes.
Oh my goodness, I was taken back. It was fun, it was funny, I was very humbled, I was grateful for my group. I love the people I play with, and to know that they would go out their way to make something like that happen for me, it means a lot more than people know, because I have been here the longest. I have, everything that people talk about, I have been, and to know that my teammates kind of like see me as, I have value somewhere, and I feel like they make me feel like, I'm important to them and vice versa, and so that value means everything to me. And anybody knows me, I'm a loyal type person, and so I'm going to forever look at them like forever friends after something like that.
But here's the thing, when everything felt totally stacked against Indiana, a few key players still rose to the occasion. Lexi Hull absolutely stole the spotlight, yeah. Career high 23 points in 37 minutes, but she wasn't carrying that weight alone. Kelsey Mitchell was out there fueling the offense, another commanding performance from her. Aaliyah Boston anchored the paint, did her best, man, and Shea Petty, a newcomer, she gave them an unexpected spark in her Fever debut. Together, they were the backbone of this team, trying to stay afloat under impossible circumstances.
But she has managed everything so well, and not only the players resilient, but she's been resilient.
And so too is Kelsey Mitchell, who knocks down
in transition.
Austin and Carlton collide, no whistle either way. Mitchell fires away.
Mitchell, man, she played like the engine of this group once again. Led all scorers with 27 points, added 5 assists, drilled 5 of 7 from 3, forced Minnesota to account for her every single trip across half court. See, before the game, her teammates honored her, wearing those MVP Kelsey shirts during arrivals. That's a rare show of recognition for a true franchise cornerstone. Mitchell admitted how much it meant, said they make her feel important, and she backed up those words too. With Clark out and the roster battered, she refused to let the Fever fold, even as that defensive pressure kept mounting.
In first place in the league. The only team that has already clinched a spot in the playoffs. Obviously, we know there's others. And McBride just reads it and eats it up.
Mitchell launches and knocks down a 3. It's Mitchell's fourth.
Boston's stat line wasn't explosive, nah, but it was rock steady. 15 points, 6 rebounds. And that was across long stretches with basically no help in the front court rotation. Her consistency gave Indiana some presence inside, at least. Yeah, some critics noted her defense wasn't that all-star dominance you expect. But real talk, considering how little margin for error the Fever had. Boston battling through those fatigued minutes, that kept the team from getting totally overwhelmed in the paint. That was big.
Here's Boston backing her way inside, spins, fades, fires, and hits. A rebound a moment ago from Jessica Shepard. Third quarter, they are shooting 61% on the night. Boston pulls down the offensive rebound, and Indiana.
Then came the surprise of the night, man. Shea Petty, she just signed on a hardship contract, right? Barely practiced with the team, and then she's thrown into a live game, and she delivered. Petty scored 10 points, hit 3 of 4 from deep, showed that can of aggression Coach White praised after the game. Her composure on those catch-and-shoot looks, it gave Indiana an instant lift. Still though, the rest of those point guard duties, that showed her inexperience. Running the offense, directing the flow, that's still a work in progress.
Mitchell in the second half, and that overtime.
Well, we know she can heat it up.
Oh, Petty shaking off Carrington, and she hits her first shot with the Fever. It's a corner 3, and Indiana's opened up 4 for 5 from the 3-point. Fever on the night are shooting 69%. Look at Turner running the floor like a guard. Kick out Petty. Oh, yeah!
Lexi's hot hand, Mitchell's leadership, Boston's steadiness. Hetty's debut. All of that gave the Fever moments, like they just might punch above their weight. So which of these role players do you want to see get more minutes? That's a good question, but the reality is those flashes of support, they weren't enough to turn the tide. The Fever's biggest problems didn't come from who showed up. It came from what unraveled once halftime ended. That's when all the momentum they built was just ripped away. The whole night shifted in a way they couldn't recover from.
Mitchell slicing through, handoff Boston, who lays it in.
Kelsey Mitchell has to make decisions right now.
The field, they're 9 of 21 from the three-point line. Boston spins inside, and she's got back-to-back buckets.
The breakdown in this game, man. It wasn't just about players running out of gas. It totally exposed how coaching decisions, or honestly the lack of them, can completely shift an outcome. The Fever had the lead going into halftime, and then Minnesota just blew the doors open right after. The Lynx outscored Indiana 32-17 in that third quarter, erased all that first half progress, flipped control in a matter of minutes, just like that.
Both Hull and McBride are slow to get up on the other end. It's 4-on-4, 2 more for Boston. Eddie looking inside, finds Hull. Boston, deep position, 2 more!
What Minnesota did, it was simple, but so effective. They spread the floor, attacked those straight line drives, hit the offensive glass with purpose. Indiana, though, they just struggled to respond. Defensive rotations were late, box outs just disappeared. Aaliyah Boston was left stranded under the rim, going against multiple bodies. Possession after possession, the Lynx got second chances, knocked down rhythm jumpers that just broke Indiana apart. The lack of adjustments on Indiana's side, that sticks out, man. Coverage had stayed the same, pressure was light, Minnesota took full advantage. That's where the talk shifts back to the sideline. Fans and analysts were quick to point at Coach Stephanie White. Again, Indiana had a strong first half, only to collapse after halftime. No visible changes in their game plan. This isn't a one-off, it's a pattern this season, dude. Early momentum just evaporates when opponents adjust, and Indiana just doesn't counter.
The lulls that you obviously mentioned just now, and how you guys want to make those lulls obviously not
shorter.
as bad. Just what can the team do on the floor? What can you guys as a coaching staff do in the moment to kind of break those up?
Yeah, I mean, some of it's timeouts. Some of it's substitution matchups, although we don't have a lot of those. And some of it's just attention to detail. I mean, championship teams, their attention to detail throughout the course of 40 minutes is there for the most part. And we're learning how to do that.
Coach White, though, she didn't shy away when asked afterward, admitted there were moments of breakdowns in their personnel defense, pointed to turnovers as a turning point. She also brought up that Indiana's working in new point guards, guys who've only practiced a handful of times, meaning the offense and defensive communication just aren't sharp enough. That adds context. For sure, it's not just slow decisions in the huddle. There's a whole roster survival element to this, with players learning roles on the fly. Still, for fans, man, the patience is wearing thin. We see Boston stuck with 2 defenders at the rim. Closeouts consistently a step late. Opponents dictating games in the third quarter, and adjustments never seem to come. Injuries make everything harder, absolutely, but the frustration builds when the same flaws repeat, game after game after game.
Our players bust their ass. Like, they battle every single game. And you know, they just, it's a couple minutes here and there. You got to play a 40-minute game. But this is a special group of women, man, with what they've been going through and everything that they've had to continue to overcome, and to put ourselves in position. You know, it could have been really easy to fold in that third quarter when they broke it open. To put ourselves in position, you know, to come back to compete to win a ball game. I mean, it's no matter what it happens, win or lose. The roots that this group is forming culturally, the roots that they're forming in terms of competitive spirit and what it means to compete at this level. I mean, those are what allow us to withstand these storms. And you know, the numbers tell a story.
clock on the season
but
is ticking down.
you know, their hearts and their character
Fever
tell
is still
another
in
one.
6th, yeah. But as Athlon reported, they're only a half game ahead of 7th, just about 1.5 games clear of 9th. That's the danger zone, man. Every loss like this chips away at that playoff window. The margin for error, it's almost gone. So now, the question's for you. Is this on the coach? Too slow to adjust? Or is the roster just too broken by injuries to judge fairly? Tell me which side you're on below. Because while this chapter raises more doubts than answers, one player's performance offered at least a different kind of storyline, one worth holding on to.
No matter what it happens, win or lose, the roots that this group is forming culturally, the roots that they're forming in terms of competitive spirit and what it means to compete at this level, I mean, those are what allow us to withstand these
Lexi
storms.
Hull's
And
career night didn't
you know,
just fill
the
a
numbers
box
tell a
score,
story.
man. It showed us what a deeper version
you know,
of this roster
their
could
hearts and their
actually
character
look
tell
like.
another one.
Fans finally saw her step into that spotlight, and alongside Kelsey Mitchell's 27 points, Aaliyah Boston's steady 15 and 6, there were flashes of a foundation, something worth believing in. Still, the urgency is real. The Fever face Minnesota again on Sunday. Dropping back-to-back games could totally erase that narrow playoff cushion. Lexi gave us reason to believe. Now they just have to prove they can finish. If you support Lexi and the Fever, then comment Lexi Show. Like, subscribe, turn on notifications. Click that video on the screen, and we'll see you in the next one.